This country is called the Heart of Eurasia. It has brought together the culture and traditions of more than 100 nations. Today, Kazakhstan is a dynamically developing young state. The interests of major international organizations are concentrated precisely here. They adapt world practices and introduce global initiatives. Such large-scale cooperation has already shown the results. You'll find more on this in Kazakhstan International Vectors.
Natural resource management is one of today's most serious challenges. Each year, humans extract 100 billion tons of mineral resources and elements. For the last half of a century, the resource consumption increased 25 times and the amount of wastes 100 times. International experts agreed that rapid development of science and technical progress improve human life but destroys the environment. The fertility and productivity of our planet is not endless, which threatens next generations to face with lack of natural resources. The way out seen by scientists is saving policies and usage of alternative energy sources. Even in the beginning of the last century, humankind was capable of using only 20 elements of the Mendeleev's table. Today there are more than 90 of them, but the more intensively they are used, the less resources are left. The epoch of thoughtless exploitation of nature by humans is coming to the end. Now it needs not only care but also help, and its resources require protection and economical use. They organized training programs for professional ecologists as well as for common citizens. People were explained what technologies and methods can be used even in everyday life in order to reduce environmental pollution, save water and use natural resources effectively. The UN is actively involved in solving ecology and energy problems. The development program aims at the implementation of eco-friendly transport and efficient use of resources in many countries and supports the development of power-saving technologies. It is also noteworthy that different states are making attempts of switching to green economy for almost 20 years. Its basic principle is harmony in relations between nature and humankind with all its economic activities. We are talking first of all about European states and the US. Australia is also working toward this policy because we know that this continent has very large dry land areas. Because of that, these states have made significant strides in the field of green technologies and management of natural resource management. The fundamentals of respect for natural resources were laid in the Sustainable Economic Development concept. This international document was adopted in 1992 during the Second World UN Conference in Rio de Janeiro. It states that in order to save biodiversity, a man should learn to use waste technologies in all spheres of life and reuse the worked-out resources. Sweden intends to abandon using oil, coal and gas and switch to renewable energy sources by 2020. Brazil has already started transferring its transport on biofuel produced of sugarcane. Green technologies in South Korea form part of the country's national strategy. Meanwhile, Russia adopted the law on refusal of common incandescent lamps. Kazakhstan is also switching to green economy. The international exhibition Expo 2017 is to be held in Astana city. Its theme is Future Energy, and this is where innovators from Kazakhstan and other parts of the world will represent their best designs in power-saving technologies, along with innovative methods of using of alternative energy sources. Trainings, seminars and web platforms. Every day, Daria Galimzhan-Kızı monitors the information about the world ecology problems. She says that she has been interested in such type of work since she was at school. Currently being a manager of the Agency for Development of Ecological Initiatives, Daria observes a genuine interest of her clients towards ecological issues. Various business organizations and banks used to consult with me and ask to help them in environment-oriented team building, like planting trees or cleaning some park area. All that can also be referred to the principles and values of an organization.
парки и так далее.
Daria is not yet capable of solving ecological problems on her own, even in remote districts of her native city. Nevertheless, she has no doubt that her activities will significantly contribute to the development of ecological education and culture throughout the country. As an example, the woman mentions the initiatives of world-class experts. As a matter of fact, such organizations as the Global Environment Facility are very important because they hold a great many of competitions for non-governmental organizations and realize projects related with drinking water or sustainable transport. The Global Environment Facility is the largest source of funding for environment protection projects in the global scale. From the first day of its foundation in 1991, the organization provided grants to the total amount of $7.5 billion. Another 16 billion were raised by means of co-financing. These funds created an opportunity to design almost 2,000 projects in 140 countries all over the world. The Global Environment Facility is an international organization which was intended to help developing countries and states with transitional economies in solving ecological problems. In its work, GEF uses several mechanisms at a time. There are certain agencies at the country level, such as UNDP, various development banks and so on, which have the opportunity to submit their projects to GEF, and owing to such projects, the assistance is directed to applicant countries. The financial support of GEF implies grants of different size. Thus, for instance, projects at a cost of several $1 million are usually realized jointly with governments. Their main task is to adjust and improve the legal framework and various instruments for further promotion of more efficient green technologies and approaches at the country level. Solving environmental problems only by means of attracting funds is impossible, assure GEF specialists. Because of that, they actively engage public in their work. Thus, the Small Grants program has been recognized as one of the organization's most successful projects. The specific feature of this program is that it allows promoting green technologies both on rural and city level. In other words, it makes people aware and gives them the possibility to introduce green technologies without thinking that it is something abstract and too difficult to understand. The GEF Small Grants program is now functioning in 46 countries. Each district has its own problems to solve, and priorities for development are determined by countries themselves. For example, Central Asian states and some CIS countries place emphasis on the introduction of power-saving technologies. All they focus on achieving of one specific goal. On the question of energy efficiency and climate change, it is prevention of greenhouse gas emission. It is a sort of global objective. The GEF Small Grants program in Kazakhstan has been functioning for almost 10 years. By now, more than 300 projects have been implemented in various sectors, including stock breeding, biodiversity and power efficiency. Most of them continue their successful operation to this day. Some schools were equipped with solar water heaters, which allow heating water by means of solar energy. For example, somewhere in a physics classroom, all the devices work from a solar panel. Of course, they don't supply energy to the entire school, but at any rate to some of its parts. In addition, as early as in 2011, Kazakhstan embarked on the program for modernization and development of the public utilities sector. The Global Environment Facility is also involved in its realization. Kazakhstan has adopted the program for modernization and development of the public utilities sector. It implies repairing more than 11,000 of residential buildings. We have calculated that the implementation of this program will prevent the emission of more than 3 million tons of greenhouse gases annually. It is a very good and progressive result. Addressing environmental challenges and development of alternative energy sources all over the world is now in the hands of several international organizations. The Global Environment Facility is a unique one because, along with project development, it is directly involved in their funding and implementation. The government of any country is entitled the right to ask it for assistance upon presentation of an appropriate project document.